afternoon. I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The Energy Department says that the adoption of nuclear power as an energy source will still depend on the next administration. Faith Del Mundo with the details.
The Philippines may soon tap nuclear energy as early as 2027. President Rodrigo Duterte, through Executive Order 164, established nuclear power as a viable source in the country's energy mix.
The choice to put up the nuclear power plant will be in the next administrations, not just this administration, but next administrations. When they see that it will be needed, then the framework is there already, and we have saved everybody 5 to 6 years of preparing.
But the Energy Department admits they have a long way to go. After all, the regulatory framework will still require legislation, and that would be dependent on the next administration's agenda.
Parang papatayo ka ng building, nalalagyan mo ng TV. Ito, parang bibili ka lang ng TV. So, mabilis, di ba? But the preliminary requirement here, of course, dapat nandun yung regulation on nuclear power. So, wala pa tayo nun. So, it can come earlier, but the regulations should be there.
The DOE says the nuclear power program consists of 4 cornerstones: the national policy, the legislative framework, alignment with international standards, and public awareness. So does this mean the Bataan nuclear power plant will be rehabilitated? Not exactly, says Undersecretary Erguisa.
The basic item here is energy security. How well it can help us secure our energy in the future. Number 2, since it is rehabilitated, the safety, safeguards, security aspect, kaya pa ba niyan? Yung cost niya, magiging competitive ba siya o magiging mahal?
So how do Filipinos feel about having nuclear energy in the country? Erguisa points out that in a 2019 SWS survey, 79% of Filipinos favor nuclear energy. He adds the move to greenlight nuclear power is centered on energy security. Erguisa says this must not be politicized.
This is a policy for the future. It's not just about putting up power plants, but we're preparing something that will be definitely needed in the future.
Though it was mentioned, Presidential Bet Bongbong Marcos said if elected, he wants to revisit and possibly use the Bataan nuclear power plant. But for Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, the facility may no longer be viable or safe. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
One research body says that it is still a long road ahead before the country is able to shift to nuclear energy. Director Carlo Arcilia of the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute told the chiefs that the government must first take into account the best practices set by international agencies.
It is just the gate. So the gate says the Philippines is considering nuclear. So there's still going to be a long or a series of steps. But without the EO, everything is theoretical. So that's why it's a very significant step.
Speaking to the big story, Arcilia also said that reviving the Bataan power plant is probably the fastest way for the country to tap nuclear power. He cited a $1 billion rehabilitation offer from South Korea, which has an exact same model of that power plant.
The option of the BNPP is probably the fastest way to go nuclear. The reason for this is that the structure is already there. And there is an offer from the South Korean government to rehabilitate it.
Time to check in on other election-related stories we're watching today. PDP Laban says President Duterte will start campaigning for the party's national and local candidates come March 25th. Party President Alfonso Cusi says they will also formally launch their 11-point agenda for continuity in their proclamation rally. Vice President Bet Sara Duterte led the inauguration of the Uniteam's headquarters in Caloocan City. She was accompanied by senatorial candidate Robin Padilla, House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco, and Caloocan Mayor Oka Malapitan. Caloocan City Representative Along Malapitan also promised the Uniteam tandem at least 70% of Caloocan's votes. The camp of presidential bet Bongbong Marcos has clarified that the social media post saying that the Uniteam will no longer attend debates is nothing but fake news. The fake code card stated that members of the Uniteam will no longer be joining debates after the, quote, traumatic experience of some of its senatorial candidates during the SMNI debate. Vice President Leni Robredo is in Lacson territory in Cavite for her campaign today. She met with various local officials and clergymen in Carmona, Silang, and Dasmariñas. Robredo will wrap up her Cavite campaign with a grand rally in General Trias. Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. PAGCOR vows to review policies and hold dialogues with e-sabong operators on the issue of dozens of missing cockfight players. PAGCOR Chief Andrea Domingos said they still have to wait for President Duterte's approval before suspending e-sabong operations. The regulator will come up with a resolution on the missing e-sabong players after 1 week. President Duterte has appointed attorney Romando Artes as the new MMDA chairman. Artes served as the agency's officer in charge after the resignation of former chairman Ben-Hur Abalos. And on the economy, we have inflation staying pat at 3% in February despite the rise in oil prices. This comes on the back of food prices easing, which offset the higher costs of transport, electricity, and LPG. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.